Greetings and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing the Snob-o-Meter Tag created by That Reading Guy, and I was tagged by fellow Long Islander Jess from Jess Book Girl TV. So thank you. So this looks like a really fun tag, so I'm excited to get started. So let's start with the first question. Question 1. What is your definition of book snobbery? I think book snobbery is just thinking that you're a better reader than someone else based on the types of books that you read versus what they read. And I think this is kind of a ridiculous way to think. Nobody is a better reader than anyone else. Question 2. Is there a genre or type of book you would never consider reading? Not really, but I'm typically not interested in historical nonfiction. But I think that's because for some reason, when I think of that genre, all I think about is books about World War II. So if I got a recommendation for a historical nonfiction on a topic that I was interested in, that wasn't about war or something like that, I would definitely give it a go. I wouldn't just not read a book based on the genre it was. It's really more about if it's a story I would be interested in reading. Question 3. Does erotica count as literature? Yes, erotica is definitely literature. I'm currently reading Lady Chatterley's Lover, which is definitely erotica and considered literature. But regardless, I think as long as it's something to read and it has a story, then it's literature. Question 4. Is it better to read classic books than popular bestsellers? I don't think any one type of book is better to read than another on a whole. As long as you're reading what interests you, that's all that matters. Life is too short to not enjoy what you're reading. Question 5. Have you bragged about reading a classic to sound smart? For this one, I think I'm actually kind of the opposite. I tend to talk about the classics that I don't like, such as The Great Gatsby. I feel like a lot of people push classics as better than other literature, and I just never understood that. So I tend to point out the books that people say you're supposed to love that I just don't like in order to ask, why does everyone else like it and why don't I? So I find that an interesting topic. Question 6. Do audiobooks count as reading? What about comic books or graphic novels? Audiobooks definitely count as reading. Even though you're not strictly reading the words, you are experiencing the story that someone has written. So it counts as reading. And comic books and graphic novels also count as reading, because some stories are enhanced by the use of visuals, like in comics and graphic novels. The genre doesn't define the type of writing. Question 7. Have you ever looked down on someone for reading a popular fluff book? No. I don't look down on anyone for what they want to read, and I've definitely read plenty of fluff books. Sometimes that's exactly what you want, something light and fun, and that's great. Question 8. Have you ever been the recipient of someone else's snobbery? Not directly, but I definitely knew a few people in college that thought they were special because they only read classic literature. And I kind of feel bad for them that they limited themselves and don't experience every type of story out there. Question 9. Would you ever be friends with a snob? I would definitely be friends with a snob as long as they're a nice person, but I would probably try to help them broaden their mind and see the value in all literature, so I would be friends with them, but I would probably try to change their view. Question 10. Are people who don't read less sophisticated than people who do? Reading is not an indicator of sophistication. Everyone can read as much or as little as they like. Reading more does not make you better than someone who reads a little. As long as everyone is enjoying the stories, that's all that matters. Question 11. Measure yourself based on your answers to the previous 10 questions. Would you qualify as a book snob? I am definitely not a book snob. My philosophy is that everyone should read what they want. I think the most important part is people enjoying stories and either learning something from them or just enjoying and having a good time experiencing a story. Stories are what matter, not how sophisticated somebody says they are. So now I'm supposed to tag other people, so I'm going to be tagging a few booktubers that I watch and that I checked hadn't already done this tag, because a few of them had. So I will be tagging Kari Can Read, Nicole's Book Nook, and Jane's Library. So make sure to go check them out as well. So I just want to say thank you again to Jess for tagging me in this video. I absolutely love tag videos and I want to do so many more. So if anybody else has any tag videos, feel free to tag me. I'm so excited for this. I would love to do more. I think this is a great way to interact with other people on BookTube and just get to know each other a little bit better. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.